Hi, and welcome to this Weekday Word. Our New Testament passage from the letter to the Hebrews today has these verses. Let us consider how to stir one another up to good works, not neglecting to meet together as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. Let us stir one another up to good deeds and good works, and let us not neglect meeting together as is the habit of some. It has been popular, I think, in recent years to really treat worship as an optional thing, corporate Sunday worship, that is. People treat it as something that they can squeeze in if they've got time, but if not, then that's okay, and they'll find other ways to feed their souls. And while there is some truth to that, I think it's missing the larger biblical picture. If we look at these verses, I think they speak to us in two different ways. One in what we get, and one in what we are expected to give. First, in what we get, when we meet together, we are encouraged. There's an old story about a man who felt like his faith had grown dim, and when he was talking to a pastor about it, it came out that he had not really been around other Christians and not been to corporate worship for quite some time. And so the pastor simply drew an ember out of a fireplace and set it upon the hearth. And then they both watched it as it went from being red hot to growing black. And then he put it back in the fire and asked, "Do you understand?" We really need one another if we are going to remain those who are encouraged in our faith. If we want to be red hot in our faith and grow and be vibrant in the Lord, we can't do it alone, period. That's just not the way God made us, and it's not the way He made the church. We need one another, and so when we meet together, it feeds our souls in a way that we can't get on our own. But the second side of it is that we're expected to give. Let us encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. And if you keep reading in Hebrews, it then talks about being sure that we don't keep on sinning. In other words, we have an obligation to one another. We don't just go to worship to be encouraged by others. We go to worship in order to encourage those who are around us, to give to them. And so we should not neglect to meet together, the author is saying, because we need to give to one another so that we are all ready, standing side by side when we see Jesus face to face. And so these verses are both challenging and encouraging. And I simply want to encourage you, friends, do not neglect to meet together, as is the habit of some, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Be blessed this day, and I look forward to worshiping with you soon.